How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Film Talk, episode number 2. It is Sunday, September 9th, 2023, and I have a few talking points to get things going for this episode of Film Talk. I think what I'm going to do is I like that I've got this Film Talk background for episode 2 and it's different. I think I'm going to do that for every episode because I think every episode there might be some weeks where I upload every day, but I think it's going to be uploading every 2 to 3 days, give or take. So 2 to 3 uploads a week should be the normal thing. So with 2 to 3 episodes a week, I can make these title cards in the process as well. Just a little bit ahead of time. But yeah, let's get some talking points going. So I've got 4. The last thing is gonna be a little thing that I have set up to do over on Reddit. So that'll be fun. But the first thing I wanna talk about is the new Ferrari movie. Now, I didn't know that this movie was even in production, and I was just on YouTube. I think it was the day the trailer came out. I was just on YouTube, and I happened to see the trailer. I'm like, what is this? And I saw that it had just been uploaded that day, so I watched it. I'm like, oh, okay. This film came out of nowhere because, like I said, I had no idea that it was even in production, and then they just sort of drop it. I'm sure some of you guys knew that it was in production, um, but when I watched the trailer, I'm like, wow, this actually looks like a good movie. If I'm being completely honest, and I hope it is because it's Adam Driver. I have always been a fan of Adam Driver. This movie, it looks like, look at Adam Driver as Enzo Ferrari. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Um, they did a great job aging him up. Um, just by watching the trailer, his performance looks pretty damn good. I really hope, um, and I may be sort of like out of left field here, but I feel like this could be possible Oscar winning potential just from watching the trailer alone. The same thing actually happened to me when I saw the trailer for The Whale. When I saw it right away, I'm like, yeah, you know, he's got he's already got the Oscar in the bag in my hands, and he ended up winning it, which I I hate to say this, but I feel like the Academy maybe has just a little bit of influence when a huge crowd of people, including me, sort of chant like, Brendan Fraser deserves an Oscar, especially for The Whale, making his comeback, doing all that kind of stuff. The Academy maybe got swayed a little bit, but if they can keep that, out of their decision making, I still feel like Brendan Fraser definitely got the Oscar no matter what. I can't remember who was nominated alongside him. There might have been, one or two other possible winners, but for me, it was The Whale. And so with Ferrari, it's like, we'll see, I guess. I don't know if Adam Driver has been nominated for an Academy Award. I wouldn't doubt if he has already. It could have been for Marriage Story, possibly, because that movie was just crazy good, and he acted so well in it. But Ferrari looks like it might be one of his most intense acting roles as far as like portraying anger. So we'll see how the movie is. It comes out in December, so it's going to be a little bit till it comes out. Which now that I say that, it's going to be like what 3 months from now, something like that, which is crazy. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, looks good, but we'll see. So my next talking point I wanted to talk about is, I guess, partly what I've been sort of watching the past few days. So I I've canceled most of my streaming service subscriptions. I don't have, like, I used to have Hulu and Prime, Disney Plus, HBO Max, all that stuff. I canceled all that stuff. I've noticed I really use YouTube a lot. Now that football season has started, I have YouTube with YouTube TV. So, um, that's like $85 a month right there. And then I think that's all I have for like paid service is that. And Prime Video. I only have Prime Video because I've got Prime as well, so that's why I have it. But otherwise, like I said, I use YouTube, Prime Video, and then Tubi. Tubi's a big one for me. I feel like it's very underrated because there are so many um, good titles on there, especially horror. I mean, there's tens of thousands of titles on Tubi alone, and they've just got a huge horror um, title collection. Excuse me. Tubi does have ads, so that's really the only downside to it. I wish Tubi would have like a little thing where you can get like Tubi Premium or whatever for, $5-6 a month. Because I'd pay that for sure. And then I also have Shudder, of course. Got Shudder. I don't actually watch Shudder as much as I probably should, but I have it either way. So like I said, I canceled the rest of my stuff. Netflix was included in that, but since I canceled before my subscription, renewed or whatever, I've got a whole bunch of extra time until the subscription runs out, and so I've been watching a lot of stuff on Netflix, specifically true crime and like crime stuff. And I wanted to sort of talk about a show that I feel like maybe not a lot of people know about, and it's called Catching Killers. There's 3 seasons. There's 4 episodes per season, so there's 12 episodes at 45 minutes. So it's basically a full season of like maybe Shameless or something like that, or like a HBO series. And it's really good. They cover in the first season they cover a lot of the bigger ones, like the Green River Killer, Eileen Wuornos, and they do 2 parts on the happy or the smiley face killers or the happy face killers. I think same thing. Season 2, I can't quite remember, but then season 3, the one I just watched, they cover the DC snipers, the Zodiac or the New York City Zodiac killer, which I had never heard of and was really interesting to watch. The Railroad Killer was another one I had no idea who it was. And what was the last one? The 96 Olympics, bombing of the Olympics, was the other one. And so the reason I like this series myself, I can sit down and watch because I also watched the Boston Marathon bombing, um 4-part series, and then Night Stalker, which is also a 4-part series. Um but I really like having sort of a more condensed episode on like a specific serial killer, and that's what Catching Killers does. Is they each episode is only like 45 to 50 minutes long, and throughout the episode they sit down with all the detectives who worked on that specific case, and they just start from the beginning and they go all the way up until they captured the person. And then yeah, and so it's a very shrunken down version of the timelines of some of them, which I like a lot, because it's like, oh, you can watch one episode here of, this serial killer, and then and then, 40, 45, 50 minutes goes by, and then the next episode is a completely different scenario, which I like a lot. It gives for a variety. I wish, because me, when it comes to these shows, if I like it, I end up binging it and I get it done, very, very quickly. And so I wish they would have more episodes, but unfortunately, only 3 seasons with 4 episodes. But the reason they have so many, or like not a lot of episodes, is because of quality control. Basically, is what it is boiling down to. The episodes are really, really, really well directed, well scripted. Questions are great, and then all the visuals and everything that, as far as like production goes, it's top notch in my opinion. It's very well done and very well handled. The one thing I've been noticing with Netflix is their documentaries that they're making, like Night Stalker and like the Boston Marathon bombing, stuff like that. They're I've noticed kind of pushing the envelope on what what they're showing in these shows. Like watching the Boston Marathon bombing show, they're showing video of the explosions going off, and like other video where it's very close up of the explosions, right there, and you can see people just getting killed, um which is crazy to show, but they do it, and I don't mind it. It can be a little graphic at times, but I I watch horror movies, so I become used to it. And then the other one is the Nightcrawler series. They would show real pictures of the crime scene, and they would typically, if the person was nude, they would, put a black bar over their private area, and then they would like black out their eyes, and then like any impact damage, like where. But they would show the rest of their body, and you can see, it's a dead, lifeless body, which is, crazy to see as a visual. But Nightcrawler, they really, really did a good job as far as production, making it scary. I was terrified watching Nightcrawler. It was last night, after 9 o'clock at night. My lights are dimmed. I'm just watching this series, and like they have jump scares where they have, like a gunshot go off, and it's like, Jesus Christ, that was loud. Scared the shit out of me at times. But yeah, I like the angle that they went with Nightcrawler, or not. If I've been saying Nightcrawler, I'm sorry, Night Stalker, my bad. But yeah, been watching a lot of crime stuff. Like I said, Netflix is king of crime drama, stuff like that. They do it so well, and hats off to them for them making just some incredible series to watch. So the last thing I wanted to do, and I can already tell this video is going to be a lot shorter, but yeah, 30 minutes should be good. That'll be fine. So the other day I went on Reddit on the horror subgenre, and I decided to ask the question, what is your favorite horror movie? And I put serious, obviously, because I want people to be serious about it. I said Halloween from 1978. So this post I posted, what, 4 days ago? Yeah, 4 days ago. I looked at it just a smidge, but I haven't really looked at it, so this will be like the first time I'm actually taking a look at it. Okay. So let's see here. Alright, so somebody said John Carpenter's The Thing. Okay. 105 upvotes on that, so a lot of people seem to agree that that's like a really good horror movie, and I can agree as well. Let's see here. Nothing beats Nightmare on Elm Street classic. Yes. 100% would agree with that. I like Freddy Krueger as not only a killer, but as a character because, in the later movies, he just gets silly and ridiculous, and it's fun. I like it a lot. The Shining. The Shining is one of those films where I feel like, in my eyes, it's a very popular horror movie that nobody talks about, if that makes sense. Like, The Shining is such a popular and good horror movie, but, people more talk about Halloween and A Nightmare on Elm Street and, even like Candyman and Hellraiser and what have you, but The Shining, I've noticed, doesn't really come up a lot in conversation. I don't know if it's because it was written by Stephen King, and Kubrick directed it, but with it being a Stephen King film and being like people's just absolute favorite horror movie is really, really well done on his part. And like right here, just a random note, Stephen King hated Kubrick's version and thought the awful miniseries was closer to his vision. He was mostly hung up on Nicholson's performance as Torrance, who he thought didn't blur the line between good and evil, and thought Nicholson was too clownish. But yeah, Stephen King didn't like The Shining, but yeah. All right, moving on. Let's see what we got. All right, we got next one is The Exorcist. It's been my favorite for a long time. I just haven't reached that level of scared since. I do love them, but I'm never scared. Hereditary is my next, following by Midsommar. Yes, The Exorcist is another good one. I think when a lot of people think about their favorite horror movie, the first thing that they think of is what is the scariest. And The Exorcist really comes up a lot in people's minds. And I think that goes for a lot of these movies above, like The Shining and The Thing, which makes sense. But The Exorcist has always been considered the scariest movie ever made, just because of it had a lot to do with its time period. It came out in 1973, and the like subject matter that they were working with was religion, a lot really religion heavy, and demonic possession and stuff like that, which was very, very taboo to sort of talk about and put in movies at the time. And so they really pushed new boundaries in that regard. But then the overall like sounds and visuals of The Exorcist are another reason why people think it's so scary. There's a lot of just very traumatizing looking visuals that really stick in people's minds after they see a movie like this. And so that's, the two big reasons just why people thought it was so scary. Someone saying Cabin in the Woods. Think this is a joke. Oh! I'm thinking of Scary for some reason because I was just talking about it. But favorite movie. Yeah, Cabin in the Woods is really good because it's very meta and it captures it encapsulates. Jesus, I can't talk. It encapsulates the horror genre. It shows sort of a little bit of everything, like, sprinkles of this and sprinkles of that, to put into the movie to, sort of show the horror genre. All right, let's see. Alien and The Thing, great double feature. Yes, that is a great double feature. And Alien is a great movie. Oh, hold on, I can go back. I was just clicking on this guy's profile just to see if I possibly knew the person. But yeah, Alien and The Thing, great double feature, great movie. Evil Dead 2, another great pick. This is one of those times where the sequel people prefer over the original. The original is great as well, but the sequel I think people liked because they basically took the sort of goofy and comedic stuff of the first one and just turned it up to 11 in the second one. Scream is another great pick because it's one of the career or genre defining movies of horror because it sort of was the first meta horror movie of its time. I mean, New Nightmare was a couple years before, but it was also Wes Craven. So Wes Craven sort of spawned the meta horror genre and just made it great. It spawned a whole bunch of stuff like, I Know What You Did Last Summer and Valentine and a whole bunch of other stuff. And yeah, that's why people think it's great. 28 Days Later, this is a good one. Like I think I said in my last film talk episode that I watched Dawn of the Dead recently. 28 Days Later is another great zombie movie to watch. This day and age, it may be jarring for some people to watch because it was filmed on like a 16 millimeter camera, a very cheap camera. But they did a really good job with this film. It's incredible. Tremors, I was not expecting Tremors to be this high up. 18 upvotes. Wow. I actually haven't seen Tremors in a long time, so I can't really speak too much on that. But I can say, I mean, great movie. Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 74, 68 upvotes. Nothing beats it. I mean, debatable. I like this movie a lot. It really is one of those movies that, again, push the boundaries of what you can show on the big screen. I think some countries considered it sort of like a torturous pornographic film. And so I'm sure it was banned in some countries. I wouldn't doubt that. But Tobe Hooper did a great job with this film. I really enjoy like the setting of this film and how he was able to capture it just so perfectly. It just shows like how hot it was out there. Like it shows like this is Texas, down south, United States, very, very hot and just miserable climate. And then showing like the inside of the house, like the visuals, you could basically smell it through your screen how like just disgusting that home was. And he just captured everything perfectly. Tobe Hooper was just a great director. All right, let's see here. Suspiria, the original. I can agree with that. I haven't seen that one in a while. I think in the past couple of years, I think I watched the remake, but I haven't seen the original in a while. Yeah, great movie. The Thing, again, another one with 43 upvotes on this person's comment. Just, I mean, people love The Thing. It's a great movie. Evil Dead 2 again, another great one. Original Evil Dead, like I said. American Werewolf in London. I'm gonna upvote that because I can 100% agree with that. I love an American Werewolf in London. It's such a good mix of horror and comedy, and the practical effects are absolutely incredible to see. It's great. And I mean, the transformation scene, of course, it's insane. It's great. I absolutely love that movie. Saw, this is good. What do they say? I just love the mystery and the characters so much. Plus, the ending is an all timer. You're not wrong there. Very good ending to this film. Spawned a ton of sequels. I think they're on their 10th or 11th film now. But the original, still probably the best in my opinion, just because it was made on such a small budget in Hollywood. I think like $1.3 million budget, something like that, which is crazy to think about, but they made it work and they made a really great film. The Descent. This goes back to people sort of leaning heavy on scary, and then that being like their favorite. The Descent is really scary because there's a lot of it's the claustrophobic effect that really does it for a lot of people, and I think that's why it's so scary. But then it's dark, and then you've got monsters just below you, just lurking, just waiting to attack, which is just terrifying. In the Mouth of Madness, I've never seen this. Let me see here. In the Mouth of Madness, who's in this? Sam Neill, Julie Carmen. Don't know any of these people. Let me get an image. No nudity, please. What's this about? When horror novelist Sutter Kane goes missing, insurance investigator John Trent scrutinizes the claim made by his publisher Jackson Harkle and endeavors to retrieve a yet-to-be-released manuscript and ascertain to the writer's whereabouts. Accompanied by the novelist's editor Linda Stiles and disturbed by nightmares from Trent makes an eerie nighttime trek to a supernatural town in New Hampshire. Okay. Interesting to say the least. Never seen it, but might have to watch it. Alright, I think we're gonna order repeats here. So we got The Shining again, Alien, Creepshow. Wow. I'll upvote that for sure. I love Creepshow. The original Candyman, another great one that I will upvote because I love the Candyman. The Wicker Man, that's great film as well. It's a cozy mystery that's got some really spooky moments in it. Great acting, an incredible location, just a ton of fun all around. Can agree with that. Psycho, boom, upvoted like that. The Exorcist, yeah, a lot of repeats. But I think the number one consensus is people love The Thing and Evil Dead 2. I think that was like the two biggest ones. Which, hey, who doesn't like The Thing? But yeah, so that's the Reddit portion, and we'll just go back here. So with these episodes, I'm just trying to talk. That's what I'm doing. I like talking about film and TV so much. This just something I love doing. If I can find somebody to talk to movies about, I can go on for hours and hours and hours about it because film is great. Who doesn't like a good film? If you guys enjoyed this episode of Film Talk, consider hitting the like button. If you like this type of stuff, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.